Hello and welcome to another episode of the Portrait Profit Show, where we focus on the business side of photography. I'm your host, Jim Landers, your guide on the business side. And it's my mission to uplift portrait photographers to make a great income doing what they love. Each week on the Portrait Profit Show, you get tips and systems on the business side of photography designed to help you gain a mastery over marketing and sales, reducing the struggles that most photographers face so you can finally get what you deserve. This show is for photographers who feel they've got something to learn on the business side. So if that's you, you're in the right place. Welcome to the Portrait Profit Show. The Portrait Profit Show is brought to you by Digital Pro Lab and Landers Photography School. For Digital Pro Lab, let's put that up in a different way. There we go. For Digital Pro Lab, Amanda and her fantastic team, man, they are there to serve you because they love what they do. And the default of them being such amazing, wonderful people is you look like a hero to your clients. Go to digitalprolab.com if you haven't already and see the difference. You're going to be surprised. And of course, for Landers Photography School, this is my company, and I teach the photography side as well as the business side. Bet you're not surprised to hear that. But if you have, we all have something that we need to learn. We don't always take the time to learn it. Maybe we think we can do it on our own. Maybe we think that we are, better than the top athletes. I mean, they've got coaches. Why don't you? Well, I can help. I can help with that. Reach out to me, Jim at landersphotoschool.com. I'd be happy to help you. Now, I want to encourage you to make comments as I go through this lesson today. And I want you to ask questions as we go through today. And of course, I want you to click the like button and click the love button each time you hear something that you think is fun or interesting or something that you can apply. Right now, I want you to go to the comment section and enter in hashtag live. Hashtag live. That's telling me that you're watching us live right now together with me on either Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or YouTube. Yep, we're simulcast to several different places. For those watching the replay, please comment hashtag replay. So those of you watching right now live, enter in hashtag live. I also request that you share the Portrait Profit Show. Click that button. It says share. It lets other people know that this exists. It helps you. It makes things better for the entire industry to grow and to know about things that can help them become better photographers. Now, let's get into today's lesson about building a future together. There you are, you and your spouse, side by side, hand in hand, building a thriving business together. Sounds exciting, doesn't it? I certainly thought so. And Robin and I started our journey on a beautiful October day in 1995 when we decided that Landers photography would be my full-time job and we'd give it all we've got. Now, prior to that, I was working as a photographer. We just hadn't started our business yet. I became a full-time photographer right after I graduated with a degree in photography. And I was the photography manager for SeaWorld of Texas in June of 1991. I had 20 something photographers and 2 or 3 lab techs under my supervision. One of those lab techs, Melissa, yep, that's her real name, happened to be best friends with a certain blonde-haired, blue-eyed beauty who I didn't know even existed yet, named Robin. You can probably guess where this is heading. Melissa set us up on somewhat of a blind date at her going away party to college at an event that she hosted at a restaurant called Mama's. Robin and I somehow were seated at opposite ends of a long table. Our eyes did meet briefly during the meeting as we looked across a sea of plates and glasses. She didn't know who I was. She knew that Melissa was setting her up on a blind date, but she didn't know which one of those guys At the end of the table was the guy. As Robin was about to leave, that's when Melissa introduced us. So I smoothly got her phone number and told her I'd call. Robin was a photographer for Life Touch and also at the time working at their retail location at a J.C. Penney department store. One evening after she got out of work, I met her at our first date at a local Tex-Mex restaurant called Taco Cabana. And those of you who are in the greater San Antonio area, you know where I'm talking about. That location itself doesn't exist anymore, but I can still picture it in my mind. But what I remember most was being mesmerized by her beautiful, sparkling blue eyes and blonde hair. I felt lucky and proud to be there with her. Our relationship developed faster than a Polaroid picture, and soon we were as inseparable as a camera is to a lens. I wanted to spend every moment I could with her. One evening, I took Robin to a spot right under where the airplanes land at San Antonio International Airport. As the planes nearly kissed the top of my car overhead, I was planning our first kiss. I had played it out 100 times in my head already, but that did not calm my nerves. So it was less Top Gun and more awkward fumble. But hey, we nailed the landing eventually. I asked her to marry me at a Life Touch Christmas party in front of about 30 photographers and their spouses, and we were married on July 9th, 1994. Just over 2 years after that, in November of 1996, our first son was born. Back to the job scene. I worked at SeaWorld for the 1991 and 1992 seasons. And in January of 1992, with Robin's help, I got a full-time job at LifeTouch as a photographer. And I worked my way up to district manager before I left in the spring of 1996. Just a few months of overlap between starting Landers Photography and leaving LifeTouch. Robin, meanwhile, worked her way up to territory photography trainer and was employed there until another very special day, January 29th, 1998. She was photographing a school that day and had finished photographing the kids. And all that was left was the teacher's group picture when suddenly her contractions started. Little did those teachers know that their group photo would be photobombed by the imminent arrival of our second son. Talk about perfect timing. Robin had just finished photographing the kids when our little one decided it was his turn to say, cheese. And it was just 3 hours later, our second son was born. At that moment, she became a full-time mom, her dream job. From that first flash of attraction at Mama's restaurant to Robin's flash going off as her contractions started, our story has been great, full of ups and downs. So more like the roller coaster ride at SeaWorld than the lazy river. So the reality is that building a future together is not picture perfect. When you and your spouse join forces in business, you're not just combining talents, you're multiplying your potential for success. But it takes more than love and a shared passion to make it work. So today we're talking about building a successful business with your life partner. We're going to explore harnessing the power of your partnership, navigating different perspectives and work styles, effective strategies for overcoming challenges together, and practical tips for balancing business and personal life. And I've got a bonus section in there. I'll tell you about it in a second. Whether you're already in business with your spouse or considering taking that leap, this session is for you. We'll cut through the fluff and get straight to the strategies that can help you thrive both professionally and personally. Every couple's journey is unique. The principles we'll discuss today can help you create a stronger foundation for shared success. So let's transform your partnership into a powerhouse of portrait photography success. Now, do me a favor. If this is sounding interesting to you, will you do me a favor? Go over to the comments and say, "This is interesting," or "I need this." Go to the comments. Let me know if this sounds interesting to you. By the way, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to be covering today, some of which I can't really say. I would have to show. I'm going to describe most of it. But as with all of the Portrait Profit shows, I create handouts. And if you want that handout, you can use your cell phone and use that QR code. And let's see. I think I put that also in there we go, so that you can see it on the screen. But hopefully, if this is your first time watching, then I guess you wouldn't. But as always, if you would like today's handout with everything that you're hearing today plus more, it's just $10. Just go to this link and I will send a PDF to you. Not during the show, it'll be afterwards. It's a manual process, so it'll be later. Chapter 1. The power of partnership. When you're in business with your spouse, you're not just running a company, you're building a shared dream. This unique partnership can be your secret weapon in the competitive world of portrait photography. Let's explain why. You have an idea, but let's talk about it. The first is shared vision and goals. Imagine having a business partner who purposefully chooses to understand your deepest aspirations. Someone who not only wants to help, but ask questions so that they gain a better understanding because they are acutely aware that your success is their success. There's the beauty of working with your spouse. Your spouse cares deeply about you and your shared future. This care manifests in the curiosity about your ideas, their willingness to ask questions, their genuine desire to understand. When we don't care about something, we tend to ignore it, stay silent, or avoid it altogether. We're not asking questions about it. But your spouse cares. So they're actively engaging, seeking clarity, and listening with the intent to understand from your perspective, not just their own. This level of understanding is crucial because seeing things from just one point of view is limiting at best and detrimental at worst. The magic happens when you both strive to understand each other's perspectives. That's the real advantage of working with your spouse. They care enough to deep dive into your thoughts and ideas, creating a foundation of mutual understanding that can propel your business forward. With this shared understanding, there's a handful of things that you can do better than you would be able to otherwise. You can align your personal and professional goals seamlessly. You can create a unified vision for your business that truly reflects your values. You're making decisions faster and more confidently, knowing you're both working towards the same future. Let me give you a quick tip. Take time to explicitly discuss and write down your shared vision. Revisit it regularly so that you're staying aligned. And never decline an opportunity to talk about your future. No matter how tired, no matter how upset you may be, remember this level of understanding requires ongoing effort, open communication, and a willingness to see things from each other's perspective. If you do not understand their perspective, you are causing problems that you are completely unaware of and would likely deny if asked because you're completely unaware. Number 2, leveraging complementary skills. No two people are alike, and that's a good thing in business. With your spouse as your partner, there's some things that you are able to do, such as identify and capitalize on each other's unique strengths, divide responsibilities based on individual talents and preferences. You cover a wider range of skills within your business. There's many examples of how each of us has excelled, but one that might seem small, but I always felt was impressive about Robin. Amongst her many responsibilities, one was that of putting the printed previews, well, we had to do that before digital, in a proof album or folder. And that folder had a front opening to put one photograph in it. So Robin would put her favorite one in it. And if I remember correctly, every single time she chose the exact image that wound up being the client's favorite. What other industry does one bat 1,000? I've got a quick tip for you. Regularly assess and discuss your individual strengths and how they complement each other. Be open to learning from each other and filling in skill gaps together. By the way, in the handout that I mentioned, there is also a section that won't be covered here at all, and that is a survey. It's how to find those individual unique strengths about yourself and about your partner, and then a merging of the two. So I have a handout that includes those additional things. Again, I'm not covering those today because, well, there's not enough time to cover those kind of things. Number 3, a built-in support system. Running a business can be an emotional roller coaster. There are highs when a client is thrilled and lows when things don't go as planned. Having your life partner by your side means a shoulder to lean on during tough times, someone to celebrate victories, big and small ones, a partner who understands the pressures of the business intimately. On those days when imposter syndrome hits hard, someone who cares about you is going to be there to remind you of how far you've come. When we land a big client or get an amazing review, we get to celebrate together. No explaining needed, because we both know exactly what it means for our business and our dreams. I want you to note something. Building this support system takes an immense amount of conscious effort. So you must set aside time to check in with each other emotionally, not just about business matters. The power of your partnership lies in the unique bond you share. By recognizing and nurturing these advantages, you can create a business that is not only successful, but deeply fulfilling for both of you. However, achieving this level of synergy requires ongoing and constant effort, open communication, and a willingness to grow together. Have I said anything that you like so far? Hit the like button. Let me know. Click the love button if you like what I'm saying. If this is helpful, tell me that in the comments. By the way, if you haven't already, let me know you're here by entering into the comments hashtag live. By the way, I can see quite a few of you have already done that, so I appreciate that. And I'm really grateful that you are here for the show today. Let's see. Chapter 2. Understanding different perspectives. When you're in business with your spouse, you're bringing together two unique individuals with their own ways of thinking and working. That you know. Hopefully, you realize also that while this diversity can be a strength, it can also lead to challenges if not properly managed. So, you'll need to develop the ability to understand and appreciate each other's perspectives. And I have this little graphic to help share that with you. Because if one partner feels as though they are not being heard, You have a serious problem. This can be a make or break factor in your business. So, in this illustration, I hope to make it clear that you are looking at things differently. And because you have different experiences and different understandings, it is likely that you will see things from a different perspective. That means there'll be times when both of you are right, but you're not saying the same things. It doesn't feel like you're on the same page. Without an open mind, it's going to be impossible to know what they're thinking. Because in this particular example, depending on where your perspective is, you may be seeing a square or a rectangle, or you may be seeing a circle for the shadow. Which one is correct? If you have only one perspective and you cannot see the other currently, it will feel like the other person is giving you some difficulty or flat out lying. If you are quick to come to lying, then you are the problem. See it from their point of view. That's the only way to show you care. Ignoring their point of view is the perfect way to show you don't. Let's explore how to navigate these differences effectively. Embracing individual approaches, well, it's easy to fall into a trap of thinking that because you're married, you'll naturally see eye to eye on everything business related. The reality is that's just far from the truth. Here is the truth. You and your spouse are two unique individuals. You've got different backgrounds, different experiences. You have different ways of thinking. And you know what? That's not just okay. If you have the open mind that I keep mentioning, it's fantastic for your business as long as you both are able to see it as a strength. Because the moment you see it as a weakness, know that something needs improvement. Let's talk about the balance of personalities because in many spouse partnerships, you'll find a natural balance of personalities because often one partner tends to be more of a risk taker, always eager to try new things and push boundaries. The other might be more cautious, maybe more detail oriented. Especially early on, this can lead to some spirited discussions. That's my polite way of mentioning arguments. And yes, Robin and I absolutely engage in spirited discussions, some of which end in improving the situation, and other times, well, maybe they don't. But over time, couples that are growth oriented realize that this dynamic is not a weakness, it's their strength. The enthusiasm for new ideas balanced with the careful consideration can save a business from many potential difficulties and lead to some of the best business decisions. Let's talk about navigating comfort zones and growth because one of the biggest challenges you may face is the balance between staying in your comfort zone and pushing for growth. It's natural. One of you might prioritize stability, while the other is keen on expansion. Growth requires stepping out of your comfort zone. A refusal to grow harms both the business and the relationship. However, this can create tension when partners have different perspectives. So let's talk about just two different perspectives. One I'll call the growth advocate, who's always pushing for expansion and new opportunities. I'll call the other the stability seeker, who's focused on maintaining what's working and minimizing risk. Neither approach is inherently right or wrong. Instead of butting heads, the key is to sit down and really listen to each other's perspectives. Often you can find a middle ground, a way to invest in growth that doesn't feel too risky. The key is finding a balance that works for both of you and your business. Let's talk about some problem solving approaches. Because when challenges arrive, you and your spouse are likely to have different ways of tackling those problems. Let's talk about first proactive versus reactive. One might prefer to anticipate and prevent problems. The other may prefer to address them as they come. Let's talk about collaborative versus independent. Some thrive on brainstorming together. Others prefer to work out solutions alone before presenting them. Another one is big picture versus detail oriented. One partner might focus on the overall vision, the big picture, while the other zeroes in on the specifics. Now, those are broad descriptions. Your particular situation is going to be much more nuanced than that, much more. But let me throw out this what if tool. Here's a useful exercise for when perspectives clash. We'll call it the power of the what if, or the what if game. When facing a decision, take turns asking what if questions. For instance, what if we try this new marketing strategy? What if it doesn't work? What if it does work, but it takes longer than we expect? Playing the what if game helps explore different scenarios from both viewpoints. Often you'll end up with a solution that's better than either of you had originally proposed. That's probably a good, what I've shared with you so far is a good description of how or why diverse viewpoints matter. So let's talk about why they are a superpower for your business. The first is better decision making. Considering multiple viewpoints leads to a more well rounded decision. Number two, increased creativity. Different perspectives can spark innovative ideas and solutions. And three, a balanced approach. You're less likely to overlook potential risks or miss out on opportunities. But we do need to find common ground because you are doomed to fail. You are doomed to fail to remember that you and your spouse are on this. You are doomed to fail if you failed to remember that you and your spouse are on the same team. And unfortunately, it only takes one of you. So don't be the failure. Seek always to understand the other person's point of view. If you're not, you are the red flag. Your shared goals and vision for the business are your common ground. When you find yourself at odds, take a step back if you need to, which many times you will. Notice I didn't say walk away and stop talking. No. Instead, remind each other of what you're working towards together. It's amazing how often this can help find a compromise or a new solution that works for both. We must seek understanding, not agreement. The goal isn't to think alike. It's to understand and respect each other's views. So this leads me into the role of empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. Try to understand where they're coming from. Even if you don't agree, this kind of empathy can work wonders for your business and your relationship. Remember, the goal isn't to always agree. It's to create a stronger, more resilient business by leveraging your perspectives. When you embrace your differences as an advantage, and when you openly and enthusiastically learn from each other, You gain a business with the potential to thrive as a result. If this is resonating with you today, will you do me a favor and just enter in the word yes? Just let me know that you are thinking that this is some good stuff, that you're gaining something from it, that you are appreciating it and loving it. I want to remind you that we have a handout for every single one of the Portrait Profit shows. And I think they're valuable, every one of them, or I wouldn't do it, of course. But this one especially, because I am definitely going to be, there's a whole lot more. There's about 3,000 more words that I'm not covering in this lesson because of time that you will get as a result of getting this handout. And the let me put up that URL again, just in case. That QR code will take you there if you just use your cell phone and photograph it, or bring your app, your camera app to it, and then click that link, or enter in this link. Chapter 3. Expect challenges, expect disagreements, and expect moments when you wonder if this whole thing was ever really a good idea. But here's the good news: with the right strategies, you can navigate these challenges together and come out stronger. Here are some effective ways to tackle the hurdles that you might face. Let's talk about first of mastering the art of communication, because it's one of the most important aspects of any successful relationship. And it becomes even more important when you're running a business together. So let's talk about some strategies that could enhance your communication. And the first is practice active listening. It's not just about the words, it's about truly understanding what your partner is saying. Try these techniques. Give your full attention, put away your distractions, your cell phone, your computer. Listen so well that you're able to reflect back what you've heard, but also so that you can ensure understanding. Eh, I want you to ask clarifying questions instead of making assumptions. I want you to know your partner's point of view so well that if you needed to, you could argue their point. Number two, use I statements. Here's an idea where I fall short sometimes. When expressing concerns or frustrations, you could reduce defensiveness and open up more productive conversations if you'll frame your statements with I instead of you. For example, you never listen to my ideas. Try, I feel frustrated when I don't feel heard. You see the difference? Again, I could use improvement in this area. Number three, regular check ins. Set aside time for regular business check ins. These aren't just about discussing tasks and deadlines, but also about how you're feeling about the business, about your working relationship. Check in. Ask them how they're doing, ask them how they're feeling. You should know what it is they're up to. So ask, how is whatever it is they're up to going? And if you don't know what they're up to, another red flag. Let's talk about managing your disagreements in a professional way. I mean, this is business after all, but we should be doing this, period. Disagreements are inevitable, but they won't derail your business or your relationship if you choose to always act professionally. So focus on solutions, not problems. When a disagreement arises, try to shift the conversation from what went wrong and how and over to how to fix it. You could ask questions like, all right, how can or what can we do to resolve this? You could ask, how can we prevent this from ever happening again in the future? Another is to use we language. So frame challenges as something that you're tackling together. So instead of you're going overtime on appointments and it's causing us problems, try we need to find a way to better manage our schedule. This reinforces that you're on the same team, working towards the same goals. Now, if you feel like it's time to take a break, if emotions are running high, it's okay to take a time out. But when you choose to do that, there must be one thing that you do before you do, before you take that break. Agree on a time to revisit the discussion and choose enough time so that both have had a chance to cool down and reflect. Because the worst thing you can do is take a break and never return to the problem. Actually, probably the worst thing you can do is be so frustrated that you end the conversation by leaving or shutting the door. By the way, you feel like shutting the door is a tool to help you, and it may be, but it may be the worst thing for your partner. And if you're not taking that into consideration when you made your choice, you are being a failure at being a partner. Now, you may feel, well, it's justified because they got me to the point where I was that frustrated. All those scenarios are true, but some of them are not taking the partnership and the end result goals into enough consideration. If you don't come back to the problem, you're inviting the return of those bad feelings over and over again. Solve the problem. Do not kick it down the road. I mean, isn't that what we say about Congress and kicking down problems down the road, kicking the can down the road? Don't be like Congress. Let's talk about dealing with emotional responses. When your business partner is also your life partner, as it is with Robin and I, emotions can sometimes run high, really high. So you must consciously control negative emotions, or they get to control you. Here's how to handle the emotions. First, identify your triggers and patterns. Pay attention to what situations tend to trigger your emotional responses. Pay attention to what situations tend to trigger emotional responses in your spouse. If you're not good about remembering that kind of thing, you might want to write it down. However, there's a reason why not to. Because if your spouse finds it, they may not appreciate that very much. Multiple perspectives. Understanding, though, these triggers, these patterns, they help you address issues before they've even had an opportunity to escalate. The second is develop de escalation techniques. So find ways to calm the situation when those tensions arise, such as taking a few deep breaths before responding, agreeing on a pause word that either of you can use to take a short break from a heated discussion. How about using humor when appropriate? If that's going to bother the other person, well, maybe that's an example of not appropriate, but sometimes you just don't know. But humor can lighten the mood. There's been many times where something funny caused the concern, the spirited discussion to be minimized or go away. Humor. Number three, separate business from personal. Differentiate between business disagreements and personal disagreements. Remind each other that a disagreement about a business decision does not reflect on your personal relationship. They are separate. Now, if you're working in a home and living in the home, okay, that does make things quite a bit more difficult in that regard. So make a space in your head. Talking about space, create a safe space for dialogue by establishing an environment where both of you feel comfortable expressing your thoughts and your concerns. Choose a neutral space for important discussions that is away from your usual work area, and have a meeting where you set some ground rules so that you have, and you don't set the ground rules at every time you visit. It's something you set, that you set in the beginning and you use as you go. You can tweak it as needed because your business and you will evolve. But have some ground rules such as no interrupting, no dismissing ideas. By the way, if your partner has shared an idea with you and your immediate response is to share a different idea with them without acknowledging that they just said something, you are making them feel like their idea has just been dismissed. So it's great to share your idea, but do not do that before acknowledging that they just shared one with you. Otherwise, you're devaluing what they just said. Number three, practice empathy and validation, especially when you disagree. Sometimes you may feel a need to seek external support. Sometimes that outside perspective is going to be just invaluable. Don't hesitate to consult with a business mentor or coach who has experience with family run businesses. Now, I recommend that you have a business coach at all times. I mean, I gave this example really early on in this discussion. Even the top athletes have coaches. Do you really think that you're better in your category than they are at theirs? Come on. We all need a coach. I've had 5 of them over the years. And yes, they're expensive. They are. But they cost less than the value I received. So therefore, they were worth every penny. And I couldn't possibly have realized that had I not taken the risk. You may have to get to the point where you're considering couples therapy or business counseling if you're struggling to resolve recurring issues that just never seem to get resolved. The third suggestion is join networking groups for entrepreneurs to share experiences and get advice from your peers. You have to constantly learn, you have to constantly grow. If one of you has stopped learning, you're not taking classes, you're not even watching YouTube videos on how to make your life in business and personal better. Another red flag. You have to continuously learn. There is no end to that. Seeking this kind of help is a sign of strength. It shows you're committed to making your business and your relationship work. It shows that you care. It shows that you are not selfish, but you are selfless. If only one of you makes the conscious choice to seek help, it is highly unlikely that it's going to work. You do not have to have all the answers. Ask others for help. and then bring back that information to improve your situation. Both parties must be receptive to this information, or the time and effort made is rendered worthless. So don't do that to the person who's making an effort, or they may stop making the effort. Now, because you've made those efforts, you're going to have some successes. So celebrate those successes together. Acknowledge each other's contributions at every opportunity, even the small ones. I know that phone call was difficult, but you did really well. I'm proud of you. The words "I am proud of you" melt away almost every concern. I am proud of you. By the way, don't point when you're saying that. I'm only doing that because I'm pointing at a camera. Number two, set milestones and reward yourselves when you reach them. Number three, take time to reflect on how far you've come and the challenges that you have overcome together. Navigating challenges together strengthens your bond and your business, and you'll be better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Remember, happiness starts with you. Now, I've written a special bonus with some unique date night activities for couples who are in business together. And uh, looks like I won't have time to share those with you, but they are in the handout. So get that handout. There is the QR code again. If you want to see the URL, I'll show it again here in just a bit. Of course, you can always, you know what? I want you to do something real quick. I want to hear your stories. Share something in the comments. Maybe it's how you deal with certain things or some success that you've crossed paths with. Share that in the comments for me. By the way, if you haven't already, enter in hashtag live. I'm going to rush through chapter 4 because, but here's some winning strategies. Number 1 is know your roles, and clarity is key. Who does what in the business? You're going to list your strengths. What are you each good at? You're going to divide tasks based on these strengths. Be very specific. You don't just say, you handle the marketing. Nope. Break it down. Decide how you'll make decisions. What needs both of you to agree on? What items, what things can you do yourself, and what items require both of you to agree on before moving forward? Review your roles regularly because as you grow, your needs tend to change. Talk it out. Good communication is about sharing information effectively. So have regular business meetings. Keep work talk for work time. Hmm, I'm bad at that one. Meet somewhere neutral sometimes. A change of scene can bring new ideas. So meet at that local coffee shop, meet at that local taco place, and set ground rules for discussions like no interrupting, no dismissing ideas. Use the right tools. Find what works for you. So, shared calendars. I use Google Calendar. We use Google Calendar. Project management apps, or even a whiteboard. We've used all of those. Have a system for updates. Maybe it's a quick daily check in or a weekly email roundup, but have a system for updates. Create a shared language. Agree on terms and metrics that matter to you in your business. Practice transparent reporting. Both partners should always know the business's financial health. Plan for your future together. Regularly discuss your vision and adjust your strategy. By the way, emotions are a thing. They can take over your logical mind. You need your logical mind in business. Emotions are great. You need them. That's what makes you a great photographer, partially. But we need to master our emotional toolbox. Emotional intelligence, or you may have heard to it referred to as EQ. I've also heard to it referred to as EI. But it isn't just about controlling feelings. It is about controlling feelings, but it's not just about that. It's about using your emotions as tools to enhance your experience. If there is one thing that you must understand, it's that just because you feel something, that absolutely positively does not make it true. It only feels that way. Emotions are powerful things. They can take things that are not true and make you believe that they are true. Emotions are signals, they are not facts. When you opt out of controlling your emotions, you opt in to a life much harder than it has to be. So recognize your feelings, manage your reactions, and use emotions as fuel. That way you can build stronger connections. You might even want to name your emotions when stressed. Whenever you give something a name, you tend to wind up with some level of control over it. Give something a name or give something a home. For instance, if it's a physical thing, and we're talking about, say, keys, put your keys in the same spot every single time, and you'll never look for them. Before reacting, ask yourself in your mind, is this feeling helping us or hurting us right now? Not, is this feeling helping me or hurting me right now? No, this is a partnership. If you're not putting that above you, red flag. Is this feeling helping us or hurting us right now? Practice active listening. Repeat back aloud what you hear. That way you can ensure understanding. When tensions rise, take a breath, maybe count to 10. Emotions are just a tool in your business toolkit. They can provide valuable insights, but do not mistake them for facts. Use them wisely, and they'll serve your partner and your business well. Keep it positive. A positive workspace is a productive one, even at home. I mean, I mentioned before, I'll mention it again. Celebrate your small wins. Did you get a new client? If you don't feel the urge to high five, you've got some room for improvement. That's an exciting thing. It's not a, oh, yeah, good. If that's how you're reacting, you're the problem. Not sure I can make that more clear. Say thank you often. Be specific about what you're grateful for. Give helpful feedback. Focus on actions, not personality. You guys following this? If you are, hit that like button, hit that love button. Share experiences with me in the comments section. I want you to keep learning. Take classes or go to workshops. Do it together sometimes, not every time. Sometimes I've come across partnerships, couples who've never been to a workshop together, ever. It's like one of them is interested in learning and growing, and the other says that they are, but they aren't. It's clear because they don't do those things. There is no self help, business help, partner help going on, but they think they're just fine. Set clear work hours and stick to them. Something that Robin has reminded me of many times because I'm not good at that. Have regular date nights and make a rule, no work talk. Have hobbies that are outside of your business. When you employ these kinds of things, obviously you're going to become better. So be ready for that change. Learn from your mistakes. and take a moment to go over to the comments and tell me what you're getting out of this today. I'm going to skip past chapter 5. Unfortunately, it's got some good stuff. But again, if you just get the handout, you won't miss any of this stuff. What it was is and I'll put it up on the screen just so you can see. It is, oh, let's make that bigger. There we go. Move over here to this side. It's a chart of what you can do during the week to make a plan to make your life as a business partnership with your spouse even stronger, even better. So it's just a list of things that you can do day by day. You'll notice also that there's weekly, there's monthly, and there's quarterly on this list. Valuable list. If you put this into play, this success plan routine is just meant to be a starting point. But you're going to create a structure that works for you, implementing the strategies that we've discussed today in a consistent and practical way. Your routine will evolve with your business and your relationship. So stick to it. And of course, adjust as needed. Here's the bonus, real quick. It's a business date night challenge. Who says business can't be fun? Introducing the Business Date Night Challenge, a monthly ritual to spark creativity, strengthen your partnership, and inject some excitement into your business journey. Here's how it works. First, pick a theme each month, and maybe you schedule this out at the beginning of the year, but each month choose a different business related theme. Let me give you 4 examples: marketing madness, financial fitness, client delight, innovation station. Number 2, plan the date. Design a fun, themed date night around your chosen topic. Now, you're creative, so get creative and mix your business with pleasure. During the date, brainstorm ideas related to your theme. But remember, keep it light, keep it enjoyable. Make sure to do a selfie or maybe a video of the date night. Post it on social media. You could put hashtag business date night and have an intent of implementing one business idea. Choose one of the ideas from your brainstorming to implement in the coming month. Let me give you some ideas in each one of those 4 topics that I gave you. So, marketing madness, you could visit a busy area and people watch. You could create customer personas based on what you see. People watch. The second, financial fitness. Have a picnic in a park and play a money themed board game. Think that's silly? Might be. But it's you two together. This strengthens your bond. The next one is client delight. Go to a high-end store or restaurant. Observe their customer service and discuss how to apply it in your business. Just note the things that are going on, how they talk to people, what the environment looks like, what it smells like. And the 4th one I mentioned was innovation station. Visit a modern art museum. Use the exhibits as inspiration for a new product or service idea. Remember, the goal is to have fun while giving your business some love. It's about strengthening your bond as partners in life and in business. So take the business date night challenge and watch your relationship and your business flourish in new and exciting ways it would never have before. Do me a favor. Go to the comments section. Share your thoughts. Did you like that idea? Ask questions. Actually, we're at the end of this, so you can ask questions, but I won't be able to answer them live. But I want you to get this handout. I mean, I am pushing it, and that is because I find, a lot of value in this in getting this handout. So there's the link. You can hit pause, but there's the link. I want you to take advantage of that. It's just $10. So we're almost done. Just the closing thoughts left. And after that, I'll tell you what's coming up because we've got some good titles, good lessons coming up this month. Next week is slightly different than what we've done before. I'll tell you about it in a second. Take a moment and put in the comments one takeaway from today's lesson. I love hearing how this is helping you. I love hearing your stories. It makes it very worthwhile for me. It could be as simple as, just thanking me, but I want you to go to the comment section and say something. Closing thoughts. We've covered a lot of ground today. 5,235 words, to be exact. We explored the unique power of your partnership. We tackled the challenge of navigating difficult perspectives. We armed you with the strategies to overcome obstacles together. We drove into practical tips for the day-to-day success. And we've given you a blueprint for turning these ideas into action. But here's the real takeaway. Your business is a shared adventure. It's a fantastic opportunity to grow together and build something truly meaningful. Remember, every successful business partnership has its ups and downs. There will be days when everything clicks, and there'll be days when you'll wonder why you ever thought this was a good idea. That's the norm. It's all part of the journey. You must keep communicating. You must keep learning. You must keep supporting each other because that is what will guide you through the rest of the challenges so you can celebrate the victories. You are business partners, but even more, you're life partners on an incredible journey that far too few in this world get the privilege to experience. Embrace the adventure, learn from the setbacks, celebrate the wins, big and small, and most importantly, never lose sight of why you started this journey together in the first place. Building a business with your spouse isn't always easy, but if you will allow it, it can be one of the most rewarding experiences of your life. You've got this. Together, you can create something truly extraordinary. So, what are you waiting for? Take what you've learned here and start building your future together because the best is yet to come. Got an announcement for you. For those of you who are in the San Antonio area, and let me bring up that graphic. Where is that graphic? There it is. If you're in the greater San Antonio area or you're willing to fly in, then I'd like to invite you to something fun for photographers of all levels, all ages. It's a diversion to spend time with fellow photographers while having some fun. So the 12th annual San Antonio Photography Tournament is on Sunday, October 20th. This year it's going to be at Stinson Airport. It's a great place to spend some time doing what you love and with others who love it too. So let me put up let's see. There is that URL. Also, there's a QR code there, which might be too small. Let's do that. Make it just a little bit bigger so that you can see that. There we go. Moving over to the right place. So that is coming up, but get your tickets now. We have a limited number of tickets compared to the number we've been able to sell in the past. And so take advantage of that now before those tickets sell out. All right. As you know, you get the Portrait Profit Show every single Monday. So I want to share with you the upcoming shows. 1 week from today on October 14th. Let me put that on. We move the time on the second Monday of each month to 6:30 in the evening because that's when our panelists are better able to show up. And so this is the one time of the month that we move that, we change its time. And so this time it's couples in business. So get ready for a candid peek into the world of couples, rocking both romance and revenue. Two dynamic duos reveal all triumphs and facepalm moments, keeping the spark while building an empire, navigating disagreements. Yep, they happen. Balancing boardroom and bedroom. No, we're not talking about either specifically. Already in business with your better half? Just considering it? All right, don't miss this inside scoop from those living the dream. That is 1 week from today. And then let's put up the next one. Good versus right, your key to success. And there we go. That's on October 21st. Are you making decisions that are good or decisions that are right? The difference could be the key to unlocking your success. In a world full of opinions and advice and lots of good things, it's easy to get caught up in what seems like a good choice until you know exactly what you want in life. How do you know what's truly right for you? Well, join me as we explore how defining where you are headed can simplify decision making and set you on the path to achieving what's right for you. And then 1 week after that, pull that one off, put on the next one. Let's see. This one's called Tame the Wedding Photography Beast. I hope you like this graphic. It was fun to make. Wedding photographers, are you feeling overwhelmed by the chaos? Discover tips and build systems that bring a calm you've never experienced in taming the wedding photography beast. You're going to get tips to keep calm and capture on, master the tools to manage pressure while delivering amazing products and services. Your next wedding is about to get a whole lot smoother. So that is what's coming up for this month, for October. I want to thank you, Lens Legends, because you are awesome. You rock. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining me today. I encourage you to like and share the Portrait Profit Show. And of course, tune in to our next live stream 1 week from today at 6:30 in the evening. So as we end another show, I hope the ideas and strategies we've explored today have resonated with you so you're able to move forward with confidence. Draw strength from the community of passionate photographers who've walked this path before you and who are walking it with you, learning and growing with each step. The world is waiting for your unique vision, your ability to touch lives through the power of portraiture. So trust in your talent, believe in the impact you can make, and let your business and your light shine brightly. Seize today as an opportunity to let your passion soar and make the world a more passionate and beautiful place, one portrait at a time. Thank you for your time and attention here today. And thank you for the efforts that you make each day to be such an amazing portrait photographer, because together we help each other achieve our goals and make a difference in the world through our passion for portrait photography. For Landers Photography School and Digital Pro Lab, my name is Jim Landers, and I'm bringing you the weekly Portrait Profit Show. Until I see you next week, Lens Legends, keep thriving, keep growing, and keep making your long-lasting mark in the world. I look forward to watching you grow. Bye for now.